Generals who command the battlefield ensure that all of the forces under their command are properly equipped, have forces in reserve, are well trained, and show up at the battlefield on time. After that, they can do little more than watch as all of the individual leaders under their command carry out their orders to the best of their abilities. At that point, the generals can sit back and enjoy the show. And that, my friends, is what Gratuitous Space Battles was, and now is, once again, as a sequel arrives. Alright, before we get started here, a special thanks goes out to RuneRaider for bringing this title to my attention. I really appreciate the heads up on awesome new up-and-coming games that we can feature on the channel. GSB, Gratuitous Space Battles, the original, was one of those titles I kept on going back to over the years because I just love watching epic battles. I mean, who doesn't, right? On top of that, they eventually included an open campaign that made the game really amazing. It was just a lot of fun and had so much replayability. Now, I haven't played the original for some time, but this looks different enough that it will be like starting from scratch anyway. And as a matter of fact, I haven't actually done anything here. So this is totally new for me. I usually don't do blind Let's Plays. I have done one, I think, on the channel, but nothing like this. I actually haven't gone in at all. Now, I do know that the tutorials are activated, so we're going to kind of flip through the tutorials and learn together what this game will bring. Super excited. I may have to pause here and there just to catch my breath because when I do these kinds of things I get so excited, believe it or not, I get so excited that I almost start hyperventilating and I don't know how to control it. So sometimes I have to stop, have a drink of coffee, and just relax for a second, and I don't want to interrupt the actual gameplay. But anyway, so I'm going to read what it says here because I don't know if you guys can read this or not. This is where you pick which battle to fight. Each scenario has a different limit on the budget for your fleet and the number of pilots available, so it may be fought over a different size area and against different opponents. Some missions may also have spatial anomalies, just like the original. And at the start, there is only one tutorial battle. Click the sand-colored planet to play the tutorial. Okay. Now select the deploy the fleet button to go to the deployment screen. Now I happen to know that there's a lot more customization for your ships on this game. I'm super excited about that. So let's just take a look. Fleet budget. So we have a certain amount of money that we can spend per battle, just like the original. I don't know if it was money or points. I don't remember, but yeah, pilots available. So you only had so many pilots too as well. So you can only have so many ships, and certain ships require more pilots than others. Enemy race Terran, map size large, deploy the fleet, and shows the highest scores. So yeah, every battle is fully replayable too, so even if you win a battle and you want to go back and you've got a different tactic for fighting the battle, you can. Okay, so this screen lets you edit the current fleet deployment, reposition your ships, and edit their orders or load in previous deployments. The decisions you make here are crucial for your success in battle. Now, what I loved about the original, hold on. Let's just read this. Let's get this text out of the way. This column of icons is the design picker. These are the different ship designs available for you to fight this battle. You can create new designs using the top icon. I guess change race and new ship. Interesting. You can have more than one example of each ship design in your current fleet. Right. So you can have multiple different fighters of the same type, etc. Now, so the original, you could do the same thing. You could have a specific fleet, save the fleet in its even the way it's laid out on the screen, and then move on to the next battle and use the same layout and fight the battle. The thing I loved about this game is that it was different every time. So certain ships were immune to certain types of weapons, like they wouldn't take damage because of the shields or the types of armor they were using. And I know I'm not doing much here, I'm just talking, but you know, we got to do this stuff, right? I got to bring some of this stuff up because it's so important. And then there'd be anomalies in the system. So certain systems would have like a black hole or some kind of nebula that would make it so that certain types of weapons or shields wouldn't work. So you had to change your designs drastically. Okay, so drag this icon into the highlighted rectangle on the left of the map. This will add the new ship of this type to your currently deployed fleet. This is a cruiser, one of the largest ships currently available. So a sample cruiser. Okay, we are going to be building our own custom ships, of course, eventually. But for this, we're just going through the tutorial because I haven't played this version. I'm super excited. Okay, excellent. This looks like the enemy. Excellent. It looks like the enemy fleet will be too big for one cruiser, so drag one more of them somewhere else in the deployment area. And now, you know, there was all sorts of tactics in terms of, you know, do you keep your ships together? Do you separate them? Because if you separated them, you know, it seems like, oh, that's a terrible design or terrible tactic because you're splitting your fleet. But when you did that, it split their fleet as well. Now keep in mind, you do not have control over the ships once the battle starts. So you get to place where they start, you get to decide what kind of tactics they're going to use. You do not get to control them. It's the individual commanders within the ships that fight, and you just basically watch a battle. So good work. Time to add some frigates to the fleet. These are faster but smaller ships, which will be good against enemy frigates and fighters. Drag 4 of those into the battle now. Right, your smaller ships were, of course, way more maneuverable. And generally, well, they had different types of weapons that they could have on them. Generally, smaller weapons, lighter weapons, with quicker turrets able to fight the fighters and the smaller ships as well. Now that didn't mean to say that you couldn't put smaller weapons. I think you could put smaller weapons with faster moving turrets on bigger ships and stuff too. It's been so long. I'm sure you can do it in this game. Anyway, okay, also we need some fighters to defend our ships and harass the enemy frigates and cruisers. Fighters are very fast and cheap, but poorly armored. To use fighters, we will need ships with carrier bays. But luckily, our cruisers have those. So the cruisers are the big ones. They have carrier bays, apparently. We'll need ships with carrier... But luckily, our cruisers have those. Drag 4 squads of fighters onto the map. Don't worry if they flash blue. So there was different types of fighters. So there was bombers, and then there was, you know, like fighter-to-fighter fighters, and then there was bomber classes, and like interceptors and bomber classes, etc. So 4 of those. Okay, and we're going to kind of spread those out. Whoa, what's going on? You will notice those fighter icons are flashing red. I don't know, everything just turned blue. This is a beta product, by the way. There may be issues, and this may not be an issue, but I'm just letting everybody know that this is a beta product. This is not fully released yet. If something bad happens, just keep in mind it is still in active development, and it is going to be out on Steam. I don't know when, but it is going to be. You will notice those fighter icons are flashing red. They're not flashing red, but, you know, whatever. This is because they have not yet been assigned to a cruiser or dreadnought with a carrier bay. So we have to do that before we start the battle. So double-click on one of the deployed squadrons of fighters. Yeah, they're not flashing red, but that's okay. I get it. So to select them all this way... Okay, so I can select him and then... Aha! No. Hold on. Double-click one of the deployed squadrons. Okay, to select them all. Okay, so they're all selected. I see. So I'd individually select like so, right? Double-click to select them all. Makes sense. And then I could probably draw a box around them. Yes. Okay, perfect. You'll need to... Okay, so we'll double-click them all. You'll need to click the red Assign Carrier button. Now we need to assign these fighters to a carrier. Any change we make here will apply to all the selected ships. You need to click the red Assign Carrier button. Okay, so what am I missing here? I don't see that button. Okay, pause. I'm just going to figure this out. Okay, got it. So when I select a group of them, for some reason that menu doesn't come up. I'm sure it's probably supposed to come up right here, but it's not coming up. But if I select them individually, and then... Oh, wait, no, that's not working either. I just had it working, I swear. Oh, there we go. So when you click on one set of fighters, it comes up like that, right? And then you can assign which carrier the fighter has. But if you select a whole bunch of them, that menu is not coming up like it's supposed to. So that, you know, just one of those bugs. Yeah, and we did the disclaimer. This is a beta product. There's going to be things that don't work. So now you can actually determine what percentage of things in priority that this vehicle will do, or these ships will do. So it's saying right here that we're going to attack fighters. Okay, so, oh, right, you can set up orders. So... It has an order rate now to attack fighters. So what is it, like 80-some%? Yeah, about 80-some% of the time it's going to attack fighters. 80% of the time it's going to attack gunships. We'll say 40% of the time it's going to attack frigates. 40% of the time it's going to attack destroyers, and it shows the range at which it's going to seek out those ships. So in other words, at a very close range, it's going to attack fighters. But you could set that range out further, so it'll actually search further around itself to find those different types of vehicles. But anyway, it wants us to assign carriers. At least that's how I read this, and if this is like the original, which I'm assuming it is, all of these things can be, these sliders can be adjusted. So we're going to assign that as a carrier. Whoa, weird. Is that right? Why is it, good work. Okay, so we were only able to assign one. Hold on, so let's do the rest. Like so. All right. Yeah, the tutorial, you know, it's not finished yet, but it's so far so good. So far so good. We got it. Okay, so now click the highlighted Add Order button for the selected squadron. Oh, okay. So add new orders. So this is what I was talking about. You can add orders. So you can see a whole list of orders here, but the one we want is the escort order, right? Of course, it's flashing, which will let us assign those fighters to stay close to a specific ship in our fleet. Click it now. Now hit the assign order button. Now hit the assign order button in that window to add the specific order to a selected ship. So I want him to escort, say, the cruiser, which makes sense. Great work. Now we only have one more thing to do, is to teach you the basics of deploying your fleet before battle starts. Although you will find many more options here to investigate in the future battles, it is about time we showed you how to put ships into formation so that we can... So to do that, we're going to have to select new frigates and cruisers. Click to continue. Select more than one ship. Okay, yeah, you can hold down the left or right control keys on your keyboard. Hold down the left or right control keys on the keyboard as you select multiple ships. Use this method to select all of your frigates and cruisers together. Oh, I see. So click, control click, control click, control click. Yeah, like so. Awesome, good work. Now we have these multiple ships selected. We need to add a new order to them called formation. So hit that. Okay, add new order. And this time we want to select formation. Yeah, okay, got it. And assign order. Oh, okay, so they're in a formation. Oh, so now it's showing that they're all going to move to the center and kind of fly together. And here we have a formation. Those interconnecting lines show you all the ships in the formation. These ships will follow the movements of the biggest ship in the formation, adjusting to pick a new leader if that ship is destroyed. If that ship is destroyed, you will have multiple formations. You can have multiple formations or a single one for the entire fleet if you wish. I don't know if the formations thing is new. I think it is. I could be wrong. I knew you used to be able to select sort of which direction ships were going to go and stuff at the beginning. But okay, before we launch into battle, we should probably save this deployment and give it a name. Okay, so we're going to save that and we're going to call this Noob-tastic Deployment. Noobtastic deployment. And away we go. Save deployment. Okay, now we are ready to fight. But before we do, notice this indicator here. Honor. It shows us how much honor we will earn if we win this battle. The honor is determined by the leftover budget we have for our fleet when we launch the battle. The smaller the fleet, the more honorable the victory, allowing us to unlock new ships and modules. Refighting the same battle can earn extra honor, but only if you beat it with a cheaper fleet than before. So same as the original GSB, if you won the battle with a smaller fleet, you had more points that you could dedicate into researching new types of weapons and armor and shields and all that kind of stuff. And of course, new ship types. You could even have different races and fight the same battles with completely different races, completely different designs of ships. Anyway, it was really, really cool. So we are going to fight. Okay, time to hit the fight button. There is no going back now. Oh no! You can have no control over the actual battle. The die is cast. So yeah, it's like a turret defense, but in a really weird way. Time to find out how your fleet will get on. But this is the best part of this game, is now you get to sit back and watch what you've created. Now you can have a lot more control over what is originally going to happen. So, this is the battle. It just paused. This is the battle. Here you will see just how your fleet does against its enemies. The battle will end once the fleet is close to destruction. The relative strength of both fleets are shown at the top corners of the screen. So you got the 100% on both sides. The green means your side is winning. The red is losing. That makes sense. And your fleet is on the left. You can speed up and slow down time and pause the game using the buttons by the minimap at the bottom of the screen. So these here. Perfect. Continue. You can also move around the map using the arrow keys on the keyboard. Good to know. Clicking in the minimap or by clicking and dragging empty space. Okay, good to know. You can toggle the user interface on and off by using the U key. Oh, for screenshots, etc. And you can take a screenshot just by hitting the print screen key on your keyboard, saved in My Documents, My Games, Gratuitous Space Battles, blah, 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 blah. Awesome. Okay, right-clicking on the center. Any of your ships during battle show you the details on their current status, which is really cool. You can see all the damage that's going on and what they have left for weapons and stuff. At least you could in the original. I'm sure it's the same. It's probably more, actually. You will have have to assess the situation of the enemy ships visually. If you want a closer look, you can use the mouse wheel, zoom in and out, page up and down keys. Perfect. Okay, so here we go. Now, we're gonna zoom in. Yes. Okay, so yes. So these are like long-range plasma or proton weapons that will start shooting off, and the fighters should be moving in right away. So these are the fighters here coming in. Oh yeah, see, they're launching from the cruisers. Awesome! Oh, this is amazing. So here comes the fighters. They're coming in, and of course the big weapons from the big ships are missing terribly, but the fighters have come to intercept the little other fighters. So that's why, and you can actually set the fighters, you can set sets of fighters to strictly just fight fighters and kind of stay back unless somebody comes in and attacks. And then of course the proton weapons are starting to hit shields, so you see that, and it tells you how much damage they do. And if they get penetration through the shields, of course, then they will start doing damage to armor. Armor is permanent damage, and so is hull. Unless you have, I mean, in the original there was damage control units that you could put on ships that would actually repair your ships and repair shields, etc. But you know, otherwise it's permanent damage, and eventually you can start to visually inspect the damage as it occurs. See, like that? Isn't that awesome? Oh, I love it. Okay, so we're gonna go back out. Let's see how our guys are doing. So it's moving pretty slow here. I wonder if I can. Oh yeah, that's way faster. So using the left mouse button, you can get around way faster and see what's going on. So, oh wow, yes. The music is really nice. I don't know if you guys can hear it really well. I did a couple tests of the sound, and it sounded pretty good, but...
An enemy cruiser has been destroyed.
Awesome! Awesome. Yeah, still lots of fighters in the air, and yeah, so the fighters can go out and do a bunch of damage, and if they get damaged or they have to rearm, they can come back to the cruisers or whatever bays are available to repair. This is a pretty easy battle. Now, visually, I'd say it's definitely better than the original, for sure. Don't get me wrong, definitely better, but I wouldn't say it's over the top different. It's it looks very similar, actually. Now, one of the advantages of having smaller ships in the original is that they could intercept. Like, they were just so much faster than the bigger ships. The bigger ships would take a long time to get to the heart of a battle. And which was usually, you know, it was a good tactic, you know, having your longer range weapons. I can't talk today. Longer range weapons on your larger ships. That way, you know, they didn't have to rush into the center of battle. As a matter of fact, I remember building fleets that had ships that barely had engines or no engines at all, and they would just sit there and pelt with missiles and these like proton weapons that would just shoot at long ranges, right? And then, of course, the fighters in the smaller ships would kind of do intercepting, or everybody would just kind of stand still. If I knew that the fleet was going to come for me, you know, why bother having engines? You know, there was so many different tactics, and it looks like that's it. Whoa, okay, the battle is over. Battles are not fought to the last life form, but decided once the outcome is clear. If you are the victor, you will have been awarded the honor for your victory, which is spent at the research screen.
Victory
yes,
is ours.
just like the original. Okay, so honor earned, 5,896 honor. Yes! Total arbitrary number, because I don't know what that means. You can look at our statistics showing how much damage each one of our weapons did. Very nice. And how much damage each of our ships did, I guess. It doesn't really say much here. Yeah, it doesn't really say much here. I'm assuming that they're going to add to this screen because it's not really statistics there. Whoa!
Galactic battle mode.
Okay, so there we go. That's the gist of the game. Now, there's going to be some research here. I'm assuming... Oh, this is where you pick each battle. This is where you pick which battle to fight. Each scenario has different limit on the budget for your fleet and the number of pilots available. It may also be fought over a different size area and different opponents. Some missions also have spatial... We already read this, didn't we? We've already done the tutorial. Why is it telling me to do it again? Okay. Again, it comes back to the... Okay. This is a beta. This is beta 1.17. Okay, so this little guy, he hasn't gone away. So, but theoretically now we should be able to go to research.
Development mode.
And I wish this guy would go away. There he goes. There he goes. Now I bet you we've lost the tutorial here. That's fine. We don't need the tutorial anymore. I think we're okay. So now we can spend some of our hard-earned honor, which is 5,896 points. Now, anything here that's locked means it's an item that we can unlock and actually use for our fleet and actually attach to a ship, whatever. So this is where you can spend a lot of time just reading all of the different things that you can add to enhance your fleet. So first off, you can actually add entirely different races, which completely changes the scope of the game. So I remember in the original, if you played a different race, your tactics were just completely out there compared to what you did before. It just totally changed the game. Components, now they are like, it looks like that's more antenna pods. So the components, okay, so this is part of the new customizable aesthetics part of the game, where I believe these are just aesthetic pieces that you can buy for your fleet to make your ships look different. I don't think these actually affect anything in the game aside from aesthetics. Of course, the races we talked about, I'm not going to do any of that. Ship hulls, this is very, very important. So each ship hull is very, very different. I remember you had to pick the right ship hulls for the job, because some ship hulls were, of course, really, really big. Some are really, really small. Beyond that, some of them had bonuses. For example, this ship here, armor boost 15%, power output boost 15%. So would this make it a good shield ship? A ship with lots and lots of shields? Well, maybe, actually, because the shields, of course, are going to be using that power, maybe. I don't remember exactly if shields use power, but I'm assuming they do. But specifically, this ship would be better to be going into an area where shields aren't allowed, because it's got the armor boost, right? Whereas this ship has the armor and shield boost, but specifically, shield. Hold on, the shield boost is 50%. Hull integrity boost, 50%. But it is a much smaller ship than the other ship, and only has 5 hard points. Hard points are places where you can place different types of modules and weapons. So important to note, and keep in mind, for every weapon that you put on a ship, you may have to put on power, and shields require power, I believe, and then of course there's special components and stuff, and then each ship produces a certain amount of power. So this ship produces 87 power, where this ship only produces 20, right? So I'm not going to mess with any of that. We're going to work with the hulls that we've got, but we are going to get some random items here to throw on our ships, because I've always liked the long-range missiles and stuff. Nuclear missiles, decoys. Oh, those are decoys. So in other words, something that just causes them to shoot lots of chaff and flare and stuff like that. Automated plasma launchers. Oh, that looks like fun. A lot of this is statistic, and we'd have to spend a whole bunch of time looking through all of these statistics to try and figure it out. Ooh, big armor plating. Oh, well, first of all, let's see what kind of battle the next one is.
Galactic battle.
So the next battle, it should sort of give us a high level what's going to happen here. So it looks like it's just going to be a basic battle. Pilots available 150, so we're not going to be able to bring as big of a fleet. Fleet budget is a little bit smaller, and the map size is large. Okay. Well, I don't know. Let's just go in. Time to learn a bit more about some of the orders and ship types you will need to be victorious in battle. The battles will involve an enemy fleet that makes full use of fighters and gunships. So fighters and gunships both have weapons that are effective against cruiser and dreadnought shields. So this is what I'm talking about. This is going to be a specific battle against certain things. In this battle, your fleet will center around the largest ship in the game, the dreadnought. Ooh, sample dreadnought. Okay. Yeah, weird things are going on here. Weird things. Little flashy green lights. Whatever. These ships are huge and deadly, but can be vulnerable to enemy fighters at close range. Drag one of these dreadnoughts into the battle now. So this is going to be one of the big classes. Awesome. Dreadnoughts do not have effective anti-fighter weaponry, like I was saying before, but fortunately destroyers do. The prime role of a destroyer is to protect the main line of battleships, such as dreadnoughts and cruisers, against enemy fighter and missile attacks. So we're going to add some sample destroyers. Of course, that's going to be our escort. So the dreadnoughts are going to be great at taking out these cruisers, but these destroyers are going to be in charge of making sure that the dreadnought stays safe from all these smaller ships. Perfect. Drag 3 destroyers. Okay, so 3 destroyers. We're going to put another one just kind of in behind the lines, so it takes a little bit longer to get into the battle. Might be handy for taking out so the fighters will come across, and of course they'll run into this guy, but then if they make it through that, they've got another guy back here to kind of clean them up as they go by. So anyway, and then now drag to select the dreadnought and its accompanying destroyer, and then hit Shift F to create the formation. Okay, so we're going to do that, and we're going to do Shift F right there. So that's a way easier way to do a formation. Last time we did the add order thing. Great, now your dreadnought should arrive, and I just did the formation with those two. I'm going to kind of keep this guy independent, so these guys will stick together. This guy will kind of wander around a little bit. I'm okay with that. Great, now your dreadnought should survive a bit longer against incoming enemy fighters. To make absolutely sure the destroyers do not get distracted, we will adjust their order. Select the destroyers, control click each one. All right. And, oh, see, this is what I was talking. These are the sliders, right? Now, remove the orders to attack any class of ship that isn't a fighter or gunship. Now, remove the orders to attack any class of ship that isn't a fighter or gunship. So in other words, cruisers. This means we will prioritize shooting at enemy fighters and gunships and only target ships at a very last resort. To remove the order, just right-click it. Oh, piece of cake. So we don't want them to attack... we don't want them to attack the dreadnoughts. We don't want them to attack destroyers, just fighters and gunships. Now, you could keep all of those on, but at a really low percentage. So in other words, oh, it's not going to let me do that. Oh, it is. Okay, so yeah, you can actually change the priority at which it attacks gunships, and they will attack them at a certain range. So in other words, if it's below this range, in other words, if there's a gunship outside of this range of 580, it won't even think about it. It won't go near that ship. But it won't start looking for them until they get within that range. So if it's really high, it will find those ships at a really high range and then go seek them out. So sometimes you want that high, depending on the type of battle that you're going to be in, and sometimes you don't. But you know, rather than the point is, rather than to have deleted all of those orders, we could have kept those orders and just raised the percentages for attacking fighters and gunships. In other words, raise the priority for fighters up to 90%. 500 is fine for range, so we'll bring that up to 90% as well, and then leave that as 500 for yes. And I think we just did it for the one. No, we did it for all of them. Perfect. Okay, so that's great. So now remove the orders to attack it. Oh, so I guess it wants me to remove frigates too as well. Yes. Okay. So, okay. And like I said, there was another way to do that, but that's cool. I understand why it wanted me to do that. Now, the problem is, will it even attack larger ships now? If everything else is gone, will it attack? I don't know. That's why it's good to have, you know, a representation of everything there. Okay, now if you have some points remaining, you might want to add some extra ships to your fleet, or you can just take the risk and fight this battle immediately. Well, I guess we could add, you know, let's add some sample fighters too. Now, we haven't done any customization yet, and I'm kind of anxious to do that. I guess we could go in and take a look. Oh, so this is where this game is going to start getting awesome. Now, up to now, you've just seen, oh, it's just a top-down kind of turret defense kind of thing, but these ships, okay, so we're going to read through this. I'm sorry if this is really annoying, and I'm sorry if you didn't want to hear all this stuff from the tutorial, but I think this is important. Just the first time around, I would love to make this a series. Again, like, if you guys want to see more of this, please let me know, and I'll do more. I'm going to do this like a series, but, you know, if you hate it and you never want to see it again, I will bury it, but I highly doubt it because it's new and it's fresh and it's fun. Okay, welcome to the ship design screen. This is where you can put together your own custom ship designs for modular components. In GSB, you are the spaceship designer. So you start off with only a few sample ships as examples. The rest of the designs will be put together by you and saved for use in your fleets. Okay, ships in GSB 2 are made up of a hull, a number of different modules. There are two types of module slots on a ship: a hexagonal turret slot that can accept weapons, turrets, or normal modules, a square slot which can accept, so the hexagonals are those ones there, and a square slot that can accept normal modules, that's these guys. This restricts the number of weapons each ship can carry. You can change the module in a slot by clicking and dragging it away, and then dragging a suitable module from the left-hand module picker. So, I don't know if you can change the classification of square. Hold on. You can change a module. So just the module. So you can't change whether or not it's a weapon slot or a module slot. I don't think. Maybe you can. I don't know. You can select different categories of ship modules by clicking on the buttons at the top of the module picker. Weapons, defenses, engines, and other. I love the other. Other always, that's the wild cards, right? You can get some weird stuff in there. The modules that are shown are automatically filtered to fit the current selected size of ship hull. Some modules can be used on more than one size type, such as many fighter and gunship modules. So in other words, only the dreadnoughts can have dreadnought class weapons, right? Whereas a dreadnought can still have, you know, anti-fighter weapons on it, I think. Depends on the ship. But anyway, you can select different categories of ship. That got that. Okay. The panel on the bottom left shows you information on the currently selected ship modules. Okay, so like cost, weight, hit points, power consumed, crew required, etc. Crew is very important because you can only have so many crew for fight, right? I think we talked a little bit about that. The data that is shown is different depending on the module type. Every module has different weight and cost, and many of them have power or crew requirements. A ship design is only valid if all the crew and power requirements are accounted for by power and crew modules. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. So it requires crew to man guns and man certain modules. So you have to add these crew quarters. I don't know what they are. These might be them. I don't know. So you have to add these crew quarters. But keep in mind, you can have only so many crew per ship and so many crew per battle, depending on the battle, right? So it becomes this really intricate management thing where you're trying to min-max everything. With any ship module selected, you can access a chart showing how each attribute of that module compares with others by simply clicking the data. Oh, cool. So yeah, you can do hold on, let's see. Compares with others by simply clicking the data for that attribute on the bottom. Click one now. So click one of the attributes. Oh, so you can see how many. Oh, so you can compare all the different types of radiation or guns compared to this particular gun, how it compares in terms of whatever that is, fire intervals, so how quickly a gun fires. So you can compare all of the different guns at once. Neat! So if you're looking for, a ship with a certain amount of crew requirement or a certain amount of power requirement, you can just click in here and go, oh, the pulverizer beam has it only requires so much power, so I can use that one. Ah, great idea. Great idea. So the panel at the top right shows summary information about the current ship. You can create new ship designs simply by saving the current design with a new name. The change button allows you to change the base hull of a ship, which may give you a different number of module slots. You may need to save each ship design that you may want to use in your fleets. Continue. Okay, this panel. So this panel here, the main panel here, shows you a layout of your ship. Of course, the positioning of your modules has little strategic relevance. In other words, it doesn't matter if you have this rotating turret in here or have it here. It accomplishes the same thing. It's not going to matter. The distance between those two objects is not going to matter in the game. It really won't. It will accomplish the same thing. Keep in mind, this is space. This is a big distance. The distance between these two guns really doesn't matter. Some slots have a number of linked hull locations and collectively perform a battery. This does not affect their performance except visually. So hold on, some slots have a number of linked hull locations, so I'm not quite sure. I think that was the same thing in the original. There were like batteries of stuff together, but it didn't really make a difference except for how it looked, right? Right, so yeah, so you'll have, say, a bank of guns. So in other words, this gun here, it looks like there's two guns on the ship itself, but it doesn't make a difference. It's not like there's two of those proton beams. There's still only one of those proton beams. Or you know what I'm saying. Oh, it looks like we are out of time. Oh, before we finish up here, I actually just want to go to one thing. I want to go to the, and I'm not sure where it is. I just saw this really briefly on, here we go. Visuals. The visual design screen is where you can customize the appearance of your ship to suit your taste. This is purely for visual appeal and does not affect the performance of your ship in any way. However, who wants their ship to look like anybody else's? He said anybody else's, eh? Maybe he's Canadian too. Awesome. The window shows you how your ship currently looks and is composed of the basic hull, which plus whichever additional components you have decided to add to the ship design. So these controls allow you to check the ship looks in different lighting conditions. Oh, cool, neat. Yeah, whatever. Okay, no, I think I get the gist. Okay, so we can just take parts and plug them on top of the ship. Ah, neat. Okay. Oh, what's this? Oh, I can actually move what's already there. Oh, this is gonna be amazing. And you can just literally slap them wherever. It doesn't even matter. Is there an undo button? Undo. Oh, I can't undo. I can only undo once. Oh, okay. That's okay. So I should be able to match everything on either side too as well. So in other words, if I do this and do this, click on this piece, I should be able to click on this and match it on the other side. So because I screwed those up, they're in the wrong spot, I can just, right? I should be able to just match it on the other. Oh, I see. There's also effects, but here, I just want to be sure that, yes, so I can just click on these objects and match them on the other side. How do I stop it from doing the flashy thing? Oh, you can select components. I think it's part of the tutorial here. You can select components by just clicking on them or shift control clicking them or by drawing a box around them. Yes. Oh, that was an easier way to do that. I just like that and, There, like that. Now, I don't know if that creates a duplicate. Yes, it does. Oh, you get the idea, though. Okay, so, yes, continue. Oh, really wants me to draw a box around them? I don't know. Shift control. Okay, it's not letting me finish the tutorial. Oh, there we go. Okay, now let's get to work here. So now you can just literally take any part and just plug it wherever you want. It does not affect the ship at all. And what's great is you can just go like that and match and do some pretty much anything you want. And really, like I was showing you, could just delete everything that was on the ship before. I think there's a base hull here underneath all of this. Yes. So there's the base hull. And then we can just add on to the base hull. We can make it look like a big rocket somehow. So take that. I think we can increase the size, element size, yes. So we can make that kind of look like part of the rocket. So yeah, we're changing the scope of the ship, like just completely. And then we'll do this. Just make that a little bit bigger. And then we'll take that. And we're gonna make that nice and big. Yes. And oh, on top of that, you can also change the layer of the picture, essentially, just like you would with a drawing program. So how do we do that? I don't know. I just know you can do it. There we go. So you right-click on an object. You can actually change what layer it's on. So whether it's on top or on the bottom, just changes the perspective of where the object is. And of course, if I like that, I just put it on the other side. And yeah, I don't know how it would make. I don't know. Well, let's see here. So we could add, you know, maybe some booster rockets on the side. I'm just showing, now, how would I duplicate that item? Create duplicate. It's got to be a key for that. Right. Like so. But you guys get the idea. Like, this is a terrible design. Now, effects. You can actually add, whoops, visuals. Whoops, yes, we already did the tutorial. Thank you. Ugh. Really? Already did the tutorial. Hello. Okay. Is that okay? Okay. Yeah. Tutorial needs to go off. Okay. And we should be able to add effects too as well. And of course, some of these components are locked that you have to unlock with research, like I was showing you before. Right. Effects. So if I wanted to make, we'll just say that these are boosters. I know this looks terrible. We're not actually doing anything real that we're going to keep, and we're going to make that bigger. So like so, and then we will duplicate that. Whoops. Undo. There we go. We'll delete that. And, I don't know. Make these like little cockpits, but we're going to make that underneath. It's not quite what I want, but... Oh, see, what we can do is make this a little bit higher. Put that up there. And then, well, you get the idea here, right? So, and then put that underneath. Yeah, I don't know. And then duplicate that on the other side. It's terrible. It's terrible. But the point is, that sure looks a lot different. Oh, and you can adjust the colors, of course, naturally. You can make that whatever color you want. And as you guys know, if you watch my other series, I am terrible at color schemes. But, you know, it's there and available. So I'm sure I'm going to have some ships that look a lot like this, like the Reading Rainbow. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. I am planning on doing this as a series. I think I'll do this anyway because I really want to play this game. I love your guys' opinion, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of you that are, as per usual, anytime I put anything new up on the channel, you're like, this isn't reassembly, I hate it. I don't like it because it's not reassembly. Well, I like to play lots of different things, and I think I'm going to be playing this. So, I'm going to be doing some episodes of this as time goes on. I know some of you are waiting for a TerraTech video. I have run into some serious technical difficulties, and I'm finding it difficult to finish a TerraTech video lately. I will go into more detail during my announcement video on Friday, so stay tuned for that, where I'm probably going to try to get into a little bit of scheduling and figure out how I'm going to be scheduling the next few weeks, because there's a lot of demand for that as well on the channel. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Stay tuned for episode 2, which I'll have done in a couple days, I hope. It just depends on my schedule. And I know we're going to enjoy the series. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, take care, guys.